Okay, here we are again, continuing. So after we've done all the clay work on the face, we'll apply more height pacing around the face of the deer, under the throat, around the cheeks, forehead, around the eyes, because we're just about to pull the skin over the face and continue with the mount. You just got to make sure that you pull the skin on the mannequin a little bit at a time. Make sure that the hair spread and the skin is basically distributed evenly, so you don't create any wrinkle in the hair and any of those complications. So I usually, as you've seen before, wrap up my face with plastic bag and leave it for the end. And now I'm speeding up the process here to save some time for the part that I'm sewing the back of the head, which is basically a very boring part of the video. We'll just try to go as fast as possible. Okay, now the fun part again. Pulling the bag off. Trying to adjust the skin over the face from main corners. Corner of the eyes, front of the nose, and then everything in between will fall into place. Yeah, I always try to use your stretcher, which is stout rougher tool from Mackenzie, on most of my animals. I try to adjust and taxi the skin all around the eye, make sure that the eyelids are not being pulled or pushed from different corners. I centerize everything before I tuck him in. If the eyelids are too long or you forgot to trim them before, now it's the time to do it. All you need is really about a 1/4 inch of eyelid skin to have available to yourself, so you can tuck them underneath your clay eyelids. More than that will create problem. Less than that would also create a little bit of a challenge. Sorry, the camera seems to be focusing behind the deer. The newspaper on the table is more in focus, but that's out of my ability. I don't know where the camera is getting focused on. Sometimes this happens. I start to tuck in the skin slowly by starting by upper eyelids. I like to press the skin on the eye and slowly tuck it and push it upward and tuck it underneath the clay to create a nice and clean eyelid from outside. Tucking in the tear ducts. I love my fish tool. It's such a multi-tool for me. I do everything with it. Cleaning the eyes with a little bit of a Q-tip and water was always a good help to see what you're doing, because if the eyes are clean and clear, you can easily adjust your eyelids and create the symmetry that you're trying to achieve. So try to clean your eyes as often as you can. if it's getting dirty. Yeah, sometimes, the more I work around them, the more I squeeze out some height paste underneath from underneath the skin, and it covers some corners of the eye. So I just keep cleaning them. Keep adjusting your skin around the eye before you tuck them in. It's always a great idea. Just keep doing it over and over. Make sure that your eye is totally in center. I mean, your eye skin is totally in center of the eye, and it's like distributed evenly around the eye, glass eye. Tucking in the upper lid, and then tucking in the lower lid. Okay, now we're trying to pull the nose skin and keep it in center before we tuck him in. I usually like to start by pushing the two nostrils inside from the front corner, and sometimes I pin them so they don't move on me. Right there, where you see my forefingers are going into the nostrils, I pull them down. Right there, I like to adjust it right there, and then keep going from there on. You know, that little bit of a clay that we applied on the nose is going to create a very nice touch to the final product. Now I'm going to apply that like small roll of clay to the upper lip. Again, to remind you, that helps with most closed mouth animals. That helps a lot to close the mouth gap after mounting it by pressing down the clay, pushing it down toward the lower lip. It'll create a very nice, soft, closed mouth gap. make sure that you're feathering the top of that roll into the upper lip by the corner of your thumb or forefinger. You can easily do that, and then leave the other side of the clay roll just rounded for later on. Apply a little bit more hide paste because the majority of them has been pushed down the throat when we pull the skin over. Now it's time to tuck in the lip skins. Still feeling that I have too much skin to tuck in, so I just trim them. It's always nicer to have too much than too little. Okay, I tuck in the front part of the lip to make sure that it doesn't move on me for being in center, and then I move toward the corners. Make sure to find the corner of the mouth and push it right into the corner because it is important. The hair pattern, the way the hair sits around the mouth, all of that depends on this part. That if you find the corner of the mouth, which is fairly simple actually, it's not that hard. A little bit of a roll of clay again for the front of the lower lip. Trim it again. Yeah, a little bit of a roll of clay for the front helps for creating that lower lip of the deer when you're done. Trying to adjust the skin on the throat patch to the best of my ability here. Now we're going to trim the excess skin on the back after stapling it. A little bit of a water spray on the back, and using your brush just to line up all the neck hair down the body properly. Make sure that they're all going to stack as smooth as possible on top of one another, and letting it dry after that way will create a very nice and smooth looking mount. You know, the animal is mounted here right now, but still a lot of time is being spent on adjusting and moving around and taxiing around the skin all over the body, just to make sure that the skin is distributed evenly and in a relaxed position, in a relaxed condition. I mean, like if the skin has been pulled in one corner and has too much extra relaxed spots in the other corners, that's not good. You need to have the skin evenly spread all over the mannequin. So pushing my favorite piece of plastic, which is grocery bag, into the nose to make sure that the nose skin inside the nostrils are gluing to the walls. Yeah, so we're coming to the end of this video as well fairly quick. With the shortest brad that you can find, you can easily brad pin the skin around the burrs. That's one of the best way to make sure that your skin from the burrs doesn't pull away from the antler. And now we're applying the last little bit of work of sculpting and modeling the eyelids, creating the crease on the eyelids and everything, and pushing in some pins for the skin corners, make sure they don't pull out. And usually the first day clay is quite soft. I do almost about 80% of the modeling on the eyelids and leave the rest of it for next morning, where when the clay is a little bit harder and it accepts whatever shape you give it to them. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. We'll see you next week with another project.